So guys, this is a really sensitive topic, and I feel like since the death of Caroline Flack at the age of 40, the fact that she's committed suicide, the reason for filming this video, which is quite a hard video to film, it's been something that has been on my mind for a very long time to film about, to really get subscribers, people engaged with this content of mental health issues, and in particular within the Indian community, which is my background. Within ethnic minority communities, I feel like this is a topic which isn't spoken of, if ever, or very little, and it is more of a taboo topic. People don't really talk about it, and so today it's that day where I feel like, since the recent event of her death, it is an appropriate time to talk about it. Also, I want everyone to be really mindful within the comments and when they're watching this. If you feel like you will be triggered by the word suicide or hearing this type of content, do not watch it, and watch it at a later date when you feel like you're ready. However, since Caroline Flack's death, since her suicide, it's a really appropriate time to film and to talk about certain things which go deeper. And I know that this is not one of those positive, high vibe videos. However, it will be very helpful, insightful to helping anyone who is dealing with these thoughts, these feelings, and to really address mental health issues within, in particular, shall I say, the Indian community or ethnic minority communities, where you don't go counselling, you don't talk about your feelings, you never mention the word suicide, you never talk about being at low points, because you're meant to have this strength and this reputation that you can never ever hinder. So let's talk about that. And I feel like my generation in particular, guys, you're not alone. A lot of people reach out to me, and I think one of the hardest things is that it's men. Like 95% of men reach out to me, and they're my clients. So majority of my clients are men, and they reach out to me about things. And I think what hurts me the most and what upsets me the most is that the majority of these men have said, this is the first time, Simi, I've ever spoken about this. This is the first time that I've ever spoke about how I feel. And I think that's what's so heartbreaking about it, because I don't feel like men, as opposed to females, are allowed to be emotional. They have to have this front of strength and protection and no, I've got it all sorted. And that's not the case. Men have emotions as well. They also are dealing with their own insecurities, fears, depression, suicidal thoughts. And I feel like within our society, it's not accepted. And I feel like this is a platform right now that I want to open up, where people can talk about mental health issues, and it affects everyone from any age. If you see Caroline Flack, who was age 40, to someone of my age, which is 24 right now as I'm filming this video, it affects everyone. I talk to clients, guys who are 28, 29, very good looking guys, gym addicts, look like they've got it all sorted. People who are at the height of their career. People, as you can see, Caroline Flack, she was a celeb, well known, into Love Island, a presenter. I know that certain things have happened which have caused the whole suicide, depression, going down a really dark, narrow road, which is why I want to address this, and which is why I want this to be a detailed video of what I've experienced, what you guys may be going through, and how you can kind of get out of it. So I do this year want to talk more about mental health issues, and the only reason I'm ready to talk about this right now is because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm able to cope with what I've gone through, as well as take on what you guys have gone through in your own personal life and not be affected by it myself. There's this thing where we say you exchange energy with other people, and I'm literally freestyling this, guys. I haven't even thought about this. I just literally jumped onto the camera and thought, let me start filming about this topic. I'm literally releasing this video today as well. because I want it to save lives, and that's priceless. I want people who are going through this, who you least expect it, to know that there was an Indian girl at the age of 24 who went through something very similar and managed to get out and managed to get herself away from feeling so dark and so alone to happy, high vibe and positive. But guys, we're going to keep the tone of this video like it is right now, because it is a more serious topic, and I don't really want to be having those high vibe baby cakes vibes right now, because I want to be very serious, because it is a serious topic. Let's start the video. So I'm going to talk about how I got to that point, and you guys are going to be in shock, because it was throughout 2018 to 2019. And so let's just say 8 months ago. But guys, if you see my progress now, trust me, these suicidal thoughts and being in that low place, it's very temporary. So that's what I want you guys to always remember. So I'm going to talk a bit about what I've been through, how I got there and how I got out of it. And if you do resonate, then make sure you always keep this message within your heart. When you're going through those weak points, which is normal because you're human, you're not a robot. When you're going through those weak points, I want you to come back to this video and watch it. Watch it as many times as you want, to know that there are other people going through this. And I don't want pity, I don't want anyone saying, oh Simma, you were right, etc. When you reach out to me, you can only reach out to me on the basis of needing help, telling me your story, or if you've came out of it, telling me how you've got out of it. I don't want anyone to question me further about this, and I'm not going to answer any questions further about this. Whatever I say in this video, it stays within this space, and it's not going to go outside of this space or be spoken of further by myself, unless you're my client and I'm coaching you. Alright guys, let's start the video. Okay, so how did I get to a point where I was so low and at the point of thinking, shit, I don't actually want to be around anymore, I don't want to live anymore? Okay, so I was already really in a bad place. I was very depressed, and I was going to the Sikh place of worship, which is a Gurdwara. We say temple if anyone who's English, and I was going on a daily basis, and I felt like it wasn't helping. And I would literally sit at the temple on weekends and cry by myself, because I was watching everyone around me, all my friends, everyone going out so happy, so high vibe on social media, and I felt like I was alone. And even though I wasn't lonely, I felt like I was alone. I didn't have a guy messaging me, ringing me. I had a lot of people saying you're beautiful, you're this, you're that, etc. But I didn't have anything of substance, and I was in a really low place. So then I ended up going to Canada in June 2018, and I had the best experience of my life. I met people who were what I always wanted. Like, I met people who were out drinking, having fun, always living life. But little did I know that it was going to be empty when I actually experienced it myself. So okay, so the first trip was really good, and then eventually I got close to my ex, and I don't want to talk about what happened between us, but I just want to talk about the way I got into such a toxic relationship, because I was already so low. So I wasn't whole within myself, I didn't love myself, and so the one person who was giving me attention, that bad boy who gave me that thrill, that excitement, the ability to go on holidays, to do things that I didn't do, I started drinking more. And if you knew me, I was on my religious path. Like, even though I was crying at the temple and it didn't make me feel better, I was so into praying. I was so into not drinking and trying to be a veggie at that point as well. Obviously my religion talks about not drinking and obviously being vegan essentially. So I was really trying to follow that path, but all of a sudden this bad boy comes along and I was like, damn, like, I want to be like him. I want to be like that. I want that lifestyle. And so I got involved with him and we started going out. We had a long distance relationship. And I started realizing that my whole world was about to change. So how did I get to the point of self-harm and suicidal thoughts? Damn. Okay, so I like to smile when I feel upset because I feel upset right now. Anyway, how did I get to that point? Okay, so I was with someone who was so toxic because they were going through their own insecurities that it was like I was never good enough, right? I was constantly being verbally abused, being called bitch, slut, whore, every single thing like you would never want to be called. I was being called on a daily basis. So this is what I talk about. The people who are around you will affect you mentally, and they can cause your suicidal thoughts through the words they say to you, because if they want to constantly make you feel this low, you will start thinking of yourself at this low and you won't be able to get back out, which is why I always say always be mindful of who you have around you. So I was being called these verbally abusive names, and it wasn't once a week, guys, it was every single day. Just trying to make myself like, oh, if I do this, maybe he'll change. If I do that, maybe things will be different. And then eventually the physical abuse started happening between us. And this was really hard to cope with because I was already low, and then getting hit, and it makes you feel even lower. It makes you feel even more shit and crap. And so I started getting to a point where I started feeling so bad about myself. Not only was I getting to the point of thinking of suicidal thoughts but acting on it. Now, I was never extreme. I never was that person who actually acted on it to the point where I know other people who have, and clients who have, and people who are close to me. However, I was at that point where I couldn't see a way out because I was being put down, no one understood, my friends were like, just leave him, and I couldn't leave him because I was so emotional and so in love with him. I was in a box, I was in love with a guy who was constantly putting me down, making me feel like shit, and then hitting me, so I was even lower. Then on top of that, I couldn't perform at my job, so I lost 2 jobs. I have 2 law degrees. How the fuck did I lose 2 jobs, right? Because I was so depressed, I was so sad, I was so alone. But I done that to myself, and I wouldn't blame anyone for that anymore. I used to blame other people and think, oh, it was him, he done this, he done that. But I put myself in that situation. He had control over my mind. So toxic relationships will take over your mind. And because you're so emotional and you want them so badly, you stay because you don't think you can do better because they make you feel like shit. So on top of that, the job loss happened, right? Then on top of that, my health was going down because I was so stressed. I was crying every day. I was so upset. My health was going down, guys. I was low on vitamin D and low on folic acid. And I'm about to release a video on how to actually turn all of that around just through your thoughts, just through positive thinking, and just through having positive influences around you. I felt so shit about myself. The people around me were so toxic. My career was over, essentially, at that point. And I was depressed, and none of my family, because obviously I'm Indian, no one understood. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. Every time I try to talk about it to family, they will look at me like I'm an idiot because why the fuck are you even with him, Simi? And no one got it. So guys, if you're in that situation where you're like, it's not suicidal thoughts, people think it's just one thing. It's not just a toxic relationship. It can be that, but it can be a whole load of other things which contribute. So if someone approaches me and says, but you don't understand, Simi, you don't understand what it feels like to be at that point, baby cakes, I fucking understand, because I was at that point, and I know so many people within our generation who are at that point. So guys, the first thing I'm going to say is you get help, right? The way I got out, I got help. So there is obviously a suicidal helpline you can call, and I've never done that because I was too scared. What I've done is I work with a charity called the Sharon Project, and they help women who've gone through domestic abuse and forced marriages. If anyone is within London and needs that help, or within the UK should I say, please can you reach out to me and I'll send you the details. Forgot to add, I also lost very close friends at that point. So it was even worse. I didn't have anyone to talk to, essentially. I had a few people who, they're my day ones forever, man. But there was some people who were very close to me but didn't want to deal with it, and so I lost them. Going through, but honestly, you need professional help. So when I talk about life coaching in my BBC radio interview, that was 2 months after being out of suicidal thoughts and abuse. Guys, if I can do it, if I produced YouTube videos whilst thinking of suicidal thoughts, whilst being so fucking low, there's nothing stopping you, because it's temporary pain. It's temporary. If you go back to one of my videos, which has 4,000 views, the one of manifesting a phone call, would you look at me then and think, fuck, she's going through suicidal thoughts, fuck, she's depressed, she's crying every night, her self-esteem is low, she's getting harassed by her ex because she left? Would you think that? No. So if I can do it, baby cakes, you can do it, and you need to know that this is temporary and you will get out. So number 1, professional help. Life coaching with the Shine Project, me having a counsellor. When I say it didn't change my life, it saved it. I legit mean it saved it. Because I was at a point where I had no job. I was attending interviews, I was getting rejections, I had no friends around me. It was near my birthday, my 24th birthday was the worst birthday, which is why March the 25th, when I turn 25, that's going to be my best birthday ever. Because now I feel so peaceful, I feel so good, I feel so amazing, right? I was so low, like I didn't have friends around me. I went out with a few girls and it was an amazing night, but guys, the mentality I was in, I didn't have money, I didn't have a job, I was with a toxic person. My health was literally deteriorating. My family weren't there for me. It was so shit being in that place. And all I remember is going life coaching. So if you was following me then, I was attending coaching sessions within a group of women who've gone through similar situations, and we'll meet up once a week, and it was only 3 sessions. Alongside that, I was having FaceTime coaching sessions, FaceTime counselling sessions. Now, this is why I offer this as a service to all of you lovely people, because I know it saved my life, sorry. It didn't change it saved my life. When I got out of that abusive, toxic relationship, when I started leveling up, it was only because I got professional help from that counsellor. Now, since then, I've had counselling twice more. So I've had 3 counselling sessions for this. So it didn't stop there, but this is what I'm saying to you guys, to get professional help. On top of that, I started loving myself and realising my self-worth. I started hanging around people who poured love back into me. And that wasn't overnight. It's not like I woke up, I got out of a toxic relationship, I got a new job, and within 2 days I met new people. No. I got out of a toxic relationship. A couple of weeks later, I met people who uplifted me. A couple of weeks later, I went to the gym, and it's about small steps in the right direction. And that's why I'm saying you have to work on yourself. No one in this world can help you through this. You have to help you. And that's what people really, really find it hard to come to terms with. And that's why they get to a point where they don't leave the relationship. They feel low. It's that fear. Because they are waiting on someone else to heal them. No, baby case. You have to heal yourself. You have to get within your own feelings. You have to be willing to be alone. No contact with anyone. You have to be willing to sit down on your bed and beg God. You have to... Damn, that was deep. You have to be willing to beg God. You have to be willing to pray to God. And you have to be, until you're on that point where you're on your hands and knees praying God to get you out, you don't know what low feels like. You don't know what depression feels like. Until your shit is that big, until this situation is that big to the point where you're on the fucking floor, mate. You're crying out to God to help you, and then he'll answer your prayers. And then every single thing he does, every single sign he gives you, every single thing you watch, every single thought you have, you act on it. God is not going to magically come down. No one is going to magically come down and tell you and pull you out and put you in a new situation. You got to do that graft. You are then the person who literally, the second you say, all right, I've prayed, I'm seeking professional help, when you get to that point, that's when things will change. That's when you'll stop thinking of the suicidal thoughts. That's when your circumstances will change. Things will clear up and pathways will be made, but you have to be willing to make the steps. If God cannot literally come down and remove you, he puts things in your path so that you can follow that path and you can take on that new job or that new friend, or you can go to the Godwara or the temple or the church. You can go and pray. He gives you avenues and you have to put yourself in that avenue. And I think that's what was really hard to come to terms with, because I was expecting someone to wave a wand and help me. I was expecting someone to heal me, but I realized I had to heal myself. There was no one who was going to come around and heal me and tell me, Simi, this is me and I'm going to get you out and that's it, it's done. No. I had to be alone in a room by myself and think and get myself up, get my new job, get new friends, get new people around me, go to the gym, pray more, get into spirituality, become a pescatarian. Like, I started writing my goals down. And another thing that I will say is, if you're very depressed, you have your journal, and every single thing you think on a daily basis, start writing and scripting how you feel. Start writing how shit you feel, how crap you feel, how upset you feel. You'll realize eventually, as the weeks go on, you will have more good days than bad days. Give it 1 month, give it 2 months. It's temporary pain. The suicidal thoughts you're having now, how you feel now, it's temporary pain, and you will get out. If you do the work, you will literally look at yourself now, how I look at myself now, and think, damn, was that me? Was I that girl who was thinking like that? And a lot of people will look at celebrities like Caroline Flack, for example, or you'll look at people and you'll think, but they've got so many followers, they've got so many likes, they're so pretty, they're so beautiful, they're so fit, they've going out all the time, they've got a good job. And you'll look at those people and you'll think, they've got it sorted, they ain't gonna think like me, they ain't gonna be this depressed, they don't know what it feels like to be this low. But you don't know what people go through. You really don't. You don't understand how it feels and what people go through until you're in their position. So get off social media. Get around people who literally put you in a positive mindset. Start reading personal development books and self-help books and start implementing them. Don't just read them and think, okay, that's enough now, like I've done enough. No, baby cakes. The first book you start with is The Secret, because then you'll start vibrating at the same energy level as every single other beautiful person who's reading that book. So if you are in this position and you feel like you're so low because so much shit has happened, guys, professional help, positive people, get rid of toxic environments, start going gym, glowing up from the outside as well as the in, meditate, pray, attend church, the temple, the Godwara, wherever you pray, start attending. Start scripting and journaling how you feel. Realize that there's better days to come. Travel, get a new hobby, or even start making your own YouTube channel. Like, do something that you love. Pour love back into you. You'll smile. You'll actually sit there and think, why was I at that low point? My health is no longer an issue. I don't have anxiety. I've got a new job. I've got new friends. I go out. Imagine if I had thought 6 months ago, before I even launched this YouTube channel, imagine if I was like, you know what? My life is so shit. Every single thing is going wrong. The only thing I have is a house that I live in. That's the only thing I have. I'm not homeless. That's literally the only thing I have right now. Imagine if I had cut my life off then. I would not be sitting here right now. I would not be motivating you. I would not have nearly 1k subscribers. I would not have thousands of views on my videos. I will not even have the opportunity to life coach people internationally. Guys, literally, you have so many possibilities. You have so much going for you, but you just can't see it right now because you're in that deep, dark cloud. And as soon as you get yourself out of it, as soon as you wake up and you think, fuck this shit, I'm getting myself out of it, the day you do that, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, they will put you on the right path. And it's not an overnight process. It will take time, hard work. Stay committed to the process. And baby cakes, it will pay off.